Justin Grant on the outside. Riley Kreisel on the inside. For the final time on July 4th weekend, folks, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you have a great Independence Day. 40 laps of non-wing sprint car racing coming to you. It's time to cowboy up here at Lincoln Park Speedway.
Oh, they got a little bit loose coming out of 4. Kreisel slides up. Justin Grant lets him go by. Grant will get the whole shot out of turn number 2. And that car that feels nasty is out in front.
It looks nasty as it leads lap number 1. JG, your new race leader. Riley Kreisel not losing too much ground, not much ground at all. He slots right in to the 2nd position. Last night's winner, the last 2 nights' winners, CJ Leary works right in 3rd, but he's got national championship point leader, the Macho Man, Brady Bacon, closing quickly in the 4th position. Leary goes to work on Kreisel for 2nd.
That's a good battle for the 2nd and 3rd spot. Took a quick peek at your quick qualifier. Shane Cottle in car number 74. He's already working the bottom line to perfection. He runs in the 5th spot.
Boy, keep an eye on Shane Cottle, Brad. He's right there in the 5th spot trying to get gone. He wants to reel in these front 4 and battle with them. Brady Bacon, CJ Leary still working down low through 3 and 4. Riley Kreisel having the ride of his life right now, but you're defending Silver Crown Series champion Justin Grant way out in front. Cottle continues to battle for that 5th position on track. He's going to give way, but up in front of him, Brady Bacon now up into the 3rd spot.
But Brady Bacon found something on that last lap. Not only did he get around CJ Leary, but quickly put a couple of car lengths, and now it's young Riley Kreisel that sits in front of him. It's right here through 3 and 4 where Brady Bacon has found a little bit more, and Brady Bacon moves into the 2nd spot. So Bacon has the Hoffman Fathead 69 really rolling well here tonight at a racetrack that he won last year.
Shane Cottle and Tanner Thorson were involved in that good little battle just a little while ago. Justin Grant leads. Up to 2nd now is Brady Bacon. 3rd, Riley Kreisel. 4th is Leary. And is that Cole Bodine up into 5th? Yes, it is. Jake Swanson, the driver, who suffered heartbreak last night after leading for just a short while, who finished 2nd to CJ Leary on his way to his 2nd win of the weekend. Jake Swanson slides right up in front of Cottle in the number 21 AZ. Brad, they battle for the 6th position on track.
Well, the track has changed. We had several cars early really trying to use the bottom line, including Shane Cottle, but it appears the top shelf is the fast way around, to the point that Shane Cottle has moved up to the top side. But CJ Leary in a really good battle right there with Kreisel moves himself into the 3rd spot, and we're 1 lap away from having a battle for the lead between Justin Grant and Brady Bacon.
Boy, you said it once again, the Macho Man Brady Bacon showing everyone why he's a 3-time national champion. As Grant catches up to lap traffic, he has to start taking evasive action. He looks high, then he has to go low. He gets through the back part of the field here. Brady Bacon just sitting back, biding his time, watching and waiting. That gap nearly non-existent now as Grant has the lead, Brad, but you wonder, he can't be feeling as confident as he was early.
No, he can't be, and of course, being the leader, sometimes here at Lincoln Park Speedway, you've got to be the aggressor when you handle lap traffic. You can't wait to see what they're going to do. You have to just simply put yourself in the spot and move them out of the way. And speaking of moving out of the way, Brady Bacon is ready to move the 4 out of the way here in the battle for the lead.
Brady Bacon searching through the track in turns 1 and 2, goes a little bit lower on corner entry that time, tries to find if maybe the middle could work a little bit better for him, but this time he stays right in race leader Justin Grant's tire tracks as they roll to the top side of 3 and 4, but Bacon seems to like the middle right here, Brad. He likes it so much, he pulls right up next to Justin Grant. They're wheel to wheel for the race lead. Brady Bacon says hi, now he says bye. New race leader, Grant tries to cross him back over, Grant to the inside in 1.
What a battle there for the lead. It is Brady Bacon out in front. Justin Grant holds the 2nd spot now. So a flop of positions as we're 15 laps in with 25 to go, and Justin Grant is going to have a run off at turn 4. They touch coming out of 4.
Getting so close right when it matters the most for the battle at the front. Brady Bacon starts to try to focus on pulling away from Justin Grant, but there is lap traffic thick in front of these guys. Robert Ballou in the number 12, the next driver that Brady Bacon and Justin Grant will have to deal with. And I'll tell you what, CJ Leary looks really good. Yellow lights come on. Racing action pauses here.
The 36 of Colin Ambrose, who is still rolling, was way up high in turn number 4. So Ambrose in car number 36 brings out the yellow, and we can take a deep breath from the classic battle you have up front between 2 of the best in this sport.
And a field is reordered, ready to go once again. 23 laps to go, green flag waves, and Brady Bacon tries to get real gone here on a Saturday night in Putnamville, Indiana.
CJ Leary, this is the closest he's been to the leaders. This yellow, will it play in to him being able to pull off the trifecta of victories with a win at Plymouth, a win last night, and right there he is, Kevin Thomas Jr. He wants to throw his name in the hat as well.
Jake Swanson sees a great opportunity as they're all bunched up right in front of him. He's gotten around Riley Kreisel, so move Jake Swanson, who ran second last night, to C.J. Leary. Swanson now up into the 5th position. C.J. Leary works the high side. He gives way to Kevin Thomas Jr. KTJ third in the national championship point standings. He's third on track right now. He runs after Justin Grant, but Grant goes downstairs on Bacon. Grant's going to try and pull the slider. Bacon wants to cross him back over. They're wheel-to-wheel at the line for the lead.
Just got to love the racing action here at Lincoln Park Speedway. Justin Grant threw that slider and about halfway down the backstretch, he finds himself out in front. Brady, Bacon, Kevin Thomas Jr., those three are in the hunt. This is good stuff.
Good stuff indeed. One lap past the halfway point here on the 40-lapper, night number 2 of the Bill Gardner Sprint-tacular. Justin Grant out in front, and it is on. Right behind him, heck, right beside him, as Kevin Thomas Jr. gets around national championship point leader Brady Bacon. Brady Bacon wants to make a go of it down on the inside of 1. He can't get the 69 to hit the bottom. KTJ steps up into second, and he'll set his sights on race leader Justin Grant.
Kevin Thomas Jr. has been able to maneuver the bottom to perfection. If one little bobble, and that's a little bobble right there in turn 2 for Justin Grant. Kevin Thomas Jr. sees that. He wants to take the lead coming out of turn number 4. Kevin Thomas Jr., good quarter, about a car length now too behind Justin Grant.
3 drivers have 3 victories here in 2021. They run 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Justin Grant, Kevin Thomas Jr., and C.J. Leary. Those drivers, the winningest drivers here so far in 2021. Brady Bacon shuts the door on Leary as C.J. is trying to get around for that final podium spot. But up front, KTJ just continues to work and work and work on the bottom, trying to draw even with Justin Grant.
Well, you can see in front, we're about 3 laps away from getting into some lap traffic. Justin Grant will have to handle it first. Although Kevin Thomas might have a different idea about that as they get down into turn number 3.
Well, in that lap traffic, Brad, is going to play such a big role in this race once again. Looks like the first car they're going to get to is the 36 of Colin Ambrose. Justin Grant has now nearly caught up to the 36. He stumbles through too. That opens the door. KTJ walks right on through. Kevin Thomas Jr. now will roll right up on the tail tank of Colin Ambrose. Grant keeps it wound up on the high side. They're trying to find their way through lap traffic.
Yeah, Kevin Thomas Jr. got stuck behind the 36 a little bit. He uses the middle line. They hustle down into turn number 3, and Justin Grant used the 36 as a pick. And there it is, Justin Grant back out front.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Brad. He did exactly that, and he knew what he was doing. The race leaders have now made their way around the 36. Brady Bacon trying to come along for the ride, and Justin Grant knows that he's going to need to work the bottom here as they come around to see 10 laps to go here at Lincoln Park Speedway.
It is hard to tell who your winner is going to be. You've got 4 potential winners in turn number 2. Kevin Thomas Jr. that time gets a heck of a run off the corner. He hit the sweet spot in turn number 2, and there goes Grant sliding right back in front of him.
So many times this year we've seen the NOS Energy Drink sponsored number 4 of Justin Grant and the Dr. Pepper sponsored machine of Kevin Thomas Jr. do this right here, run side by side so late into so many of our features already. Kevin Thomas Jr. works the inside, Justin Grant works the outside, and all this is doing, Brad, is allowing Brady Bacon, Riley Kreisel, C.J. Leary to reel in and join this fight for the lead.
Turn number 2 has been Justin Grant's nemesis. That's where he's had his biggest bobbles. Down there, he's so quick through 3 and 4. We'll see what happens again this time. Kevin Thomas Jr. is going to try to set him up. Grant that time comes off. They're almost even up as they come out of the corner. They are not separated at all.
No, KTJ can make that car take off out of the bottom so well, but then Justin Grant is able to keep his foot in the throttle and rip around the high side just a little bit longer than Kevin Thomas Jr. can. KTJ gets to that corner so much quicker from running down on the inside half of the racetrack, so he has to kill his corner entry speed, and that's why you see this drag race continuing. But KTJ now shows the way solidly. He's out in front, 4 to go this time by.
That was a great move right there to handle the lap traffic to Kevin Thomas Jr. Puts himself a car length or 2 out in front of Justin Grant, but don't count out Brady Bacon. Championships are what he's been made of. He said it in an interview. He's championship material because of how he races.
3 laps to go, and the tiebreaker for who has the most wins here in 2021 could be coming up right here, right now. Again, KTJ, 3 wins for himself. Justin Grant, 3 wins for himself. Brady Bacon has 2, and Leary has 3 also. Kevin Thomas Jr. negotiating lap traffic down low. They're going to see 2 laps this time by, Brad.
Kevin Thomas Jr. puts another car a lap down. That's Chris Windham. Justin Grant has moved to the bottom of the track. He's figured that maybe the top's not where it's going to be. Let's see if Grant in this final lap, right there, bobble for Kevin Thomas Jr.
Kevin Thomas Jr. gets just a tick tight down on the inside. That car over-rotates on him on the exit of turn number 4, but he's done a good enough job through this entire 40-lap race that he is making his way out of the final 2 corners. Kevin Thomas Jr. gets win number 4, barely holding off Justin Grant. KTJ, $7,000 richer tonight.
That was a heck of a run right there. Brady Bacon comes home in the 3rd spot. CJ Leary finishes in the 4th position. A classic Lincoln Park Speedway battle, side by side for over 25 laps, and you hit it. That's a lot of Dr. Pepper you could buy for $7,000.
Yeah, it sure is. Maybe more than KTJ wants to drink, but he's going to get to spend that $7,000 however he sees fit. KTJ dusts him off over in 3 and 4. Folks, let him hear it. He is your winner here tonight. It's his 4th win of 2021.